This is my honor and pleased to be here and to give a presentation on the introducing the Japan's new Basic Act on Dementia to promote an inclusive society. This new act was enforced last year. I love this law actually as a scholar of the peace and conflict studies. So thank you so much. Okay. So the name of the law, the Basic Act of Dementia to promote an inclusive society. And this, in Japanese, we use kyosei for inclusive, and the Ministry of Health and Labor and Welfare chose inclusive to express the kyosei, but I would like to discuss about that deeper later. So, something disappeared. This is a prevalence rate of dementia in Japan. So actually, now that 2025, actually the more than 12% of the population has dementia in Japan. And actually, from the 2035 to 2050, the prevalence rate is almost 15%. But after the 2050, the percentage of the dementia people will be increased. So actually, the people got the dementia when they get older. So especially the people over the 75 years old people tend to have some level of dementia. So this is the population aging rate of the Asian countries. It was okay with my computer, but in this computer, it's very strange. I'm sorry. The red one is Japan actually, and this red one is Japan, and the green one is Korea actually. So Japan was top runner of the population aging, and from the 1960s and 1970s. Actually, as we know, because of the war and Japan's population, length of life was not so long in 1950s, but suddenly, after the 1960s, the average length of life of Japan increased so much and rapidly, and actually Japan has been the top runner of the population aging. But actually, Korea should be the top runner of the population aging. And the other point is, actually, most of the Asian countries, the speed of population aging, the speed of changing is much faster than Japan. So actually, the population aging should be the common issue for the Asian countries, especially the countries other than maybe Japan and Korea. The speed of the population aging is faster than Japan and Korea. So it should be pretty much burden for the society. And so actually, dementia has been recognized as a common enemy of the world. So for example, in 2015, first WHO Ministerial Conference on Global Action Against Dementia, they say that this is a common challenge among the world. Yeah, and we said against dementia, so we need to fight with dementia. That is our attitude. So we have been put a lot of resources for the prevention and the research of the prevention, etc. And to fight with dementia, the prevention is important. Also, the final, if we failed to control the dementia, in Japan also, we tied up a person with dementia in institution, etc. So anyway, we have been fighting with dementia in our history. So my question is, did your country's region find the solutions to how to survive this population aging and to fight with dementia, fight against dementia. That is my first question to you. So, Japan made a new law that is a basic act on dementia to promote and kyosei shakai. Kyosei shakai is by Ministry of Health, as I said, it's an inclusive society. Actually, this is a big paradigm change. We have been fighting against dementia, but finally, the significance and meaning of this law is kind of like we decided not to fight with dementia. We try to live together with dementia. That is a different new attitude toward dementia. That's a big paradigm change. So kyosei literally meaning to live together. So in other words, symbiotic and cohabitation, maybe inclusive and coexistence, harmonious or peaceful. And shakai is a society. So like if I use the call this new act in English with a very simple word, maybe we can say the basic act of dementia to promote a society where everyone can live together well. So actually, excuse me, this is my self-introduction. I'm teaching the conflict transformation and peace building in my university. So actually, like I'm doing research on how to live together well from the peace building perspective. So I'd like to apply peace building and conflict transformation knowledge and approaches towards resolving the issues of dementia. Especially these 5 years, I have been working on the dementia issues from the peace and conflict perspective. But actually before that, I have been working with the environmental justice issue from the peace building conflict studies perspective, and including the Fukushima nuclear disaster and the Minamata environmental pollution. I live in Minamata actually now. Anyway, so purpose of this presentation is to analyze the significance of the new act on dementia from a conflict and peace studies perspective. Yeah. So, from the perspective of the conflict scholars, dementia is not actually a disease, but a conflict phenomenon. That is my impression toward the dementia. Yeah. And dementia is I would like to say dementia is a relationship disease. Yeah. So this is a kind of textbook things like if we, let's say, try to find the definition of the symptom dementia. In a Japanese textbook, we say like that, like core symptoms and peripheral symptoms. So peripheral symptoms, shuhen shoujo in Japanese, is so-called BPSD, behavioral and psychological symptoms of dementia. So core symptom is actually the change of the cognitive function of the brain. This is a biological change, kind of, yeah. And also including the impairment in memory capacity, and impairment of the language ability, impairment of the cognitive ability, etc. But the symptoms which could cause the socio-economical burden and a care burden is BPSD, behavioral and psychological symptom dementia. For example, the aggressive behavior like verbal abuse and physical abuse and people, dementia patients or that people with dementia do the abusive behavior, say a really bad word and also like physical abuse and shouting, screaming, and delusions, hallucinations, and anxiety, wandering, honoring, sexual inhabilitation. Anyway, so but I, as a conflict scholar, I was surprised. Is this a symptom? I thought those, things, it seems to be the conflict phenomenon. Yeah, for example, like this is a verbal abuse, this is a physical abuse. If someone says that, but this person just says something. But if other person, I was hurt by what you said. This is abusive word, and we name this word is a verbal abuse. And also wondering, like maybe this person is just walking. But if someone says, your walking is strange, why you are going the wrong, such way? So then we name, your walking is not normal walking, you are wandering. So kind of all of these symptoms is a kind of phenomena, like we recognize these things as not behavior which is not normal. So like my perspective is if we can resolve the those BPSD, so-called BPSD, behavioral psychological symptom dementia, if we can resolve that from using the conflict resolution knowledge and approaches, and BPSD could be eliminated and socioeconomic burden of the dementia could be reduced. That was my first perspective of this study. Now, for example, in Japan, we define desire to go home as a symptom of the dementia people, kitaku-ganbo in Japanese. So, like, if they are the just normal persons, normal people, and this green person says, I want to go to home, and this blue person, I want you to stay in this facility. It's just conflict of the different interests, right? But once we name this green person, you are the patient of dementia, yeah, and suddenly we say, this is a symptom of yours. So normally, I want to go to home. No, I want you to stay in the facility. This is just conflict. But once we, naming diagnosis, give the diagnosis to this green person, we say, this is your problematic behavior. This is your symptom. So actually, you are abnormal, you are disease, we are normal people, and we are healthy. So this is not conflict, you are problem. So this is a structure of what is happening surrounding dementia people. So we name, we name the conflict between people with dementia and other people as this is your problem, this is a symptom of dementia. This is a kind of like asymmetric conflict phenomena from our perspective. So we see like dementia as asymmetric conflict. So just a conflict, but this is a healthy people has more power and dementia people has less power, and this is your problem. Also, what is to kyosei, to live together with persons with dementia? We use this word kyosei in a new act. Yeah. So kyosei, as I said, we can think kyosei as a peace studies perspective because to live together is a very important issue of peace. So I'd like to use the knowledge of the gout Yohao Mountain. So he said he defined peace is a state without violence, and he discussed about what is the different types of the violences. And finally, he said we have a direct violence and indirect violence. And indirect violence, we have structural violence and cultural violence. That is everyone knows that, right? And this is actually what the Galton originally said. So violence is defined as a cause of differences between the potential and actual, between what could have been and what is. That is what exactly Galton said. So for example, left side, this is an example of the physical violence. He is a Norwegian, European, and so he discussed about the colonialism. Thank you so much. So, for example, in a process of colonialization, if the European country, they say, bomb or even kill the African people, and if the average of life expectancy of the African country is much shorter than the European country, that is direct violence because of the killing and bombing, etc. But actually, if a European country exploit economically the African country, and the average of life expectancy of that African country stays in 65, much shorter than a European country, it should be also the violence. This is not physical, this is not direct violence, but this is a structural violence of the economic exploitation system structure. That was the discussion of the Johan Galton. So, the structural violence is the status that someone's potentiality is not fully enjoyed because of the social and organizational structure. And cultural violence is same, and the status that someone's potentiality is not fully enjoyed because of social and organizational culture. So, actually, the violence, structural violence and cultural violence are happening to the people with dementia actually. So, how can we make change over the structural and cultural violence surrounding dementia, and how can we build peaceful society and culture on dementia? That is my question. Yeah, something like that. So, I'd like to mention some relationship between the conflict and the violence. So, we tend to say that peace is absent, tend to think peace is absent of conflict. It is not what the peace scholar thinks, and it is not the God himself. Like actually the conflict are signs to show someone's potentiality, even someone's needs is oppressed. Actually, if we have some structural and cultural violences, and if someone's potentiality is oppressed, that person symbolically say like this person have irritated, and have a conflict. So the conflict is a sign we can know that we have some structural and cultural violences and that kind of oppressed needs. So, and this is actually the why the structure of the conflict of the surrounding the dementia people. Why we have the conflict between the people with dementia and other people surrounding dementia. So I believe we have two levels. So the first level is a kind of communication error because of the change of the cognitive function. And the lower level, layer B, is a substantial conflict. Like for example, thinking of the conflict between the people with dementia and their family members. So they have the conflict, irritation because of the communication error, because of the cognitive function change. But at the same time, they have some substantial conflict of interest and past harm and different values or the worldviews, and fear for the death, fear for aging, and fear for illness, and power relationship. So we need to think the two levels. Probably we can resolve this communication error using the communication-related innovation, including AI, and this level layer B, we can use conflict transformation theories. That is what we have to think. So, important factor to these are the important factors to cause conflict surrounding the dementia. One is many of the BPSD of dementia are the situations in which conflict between the persons with dementia and those around them are attributed to the person with dementia in the asymmetric power relationship. And how do we transform asymmetric conflict around dementia? That is question one. And also, how we can resolve the structural and cultural violence surrounding dementia. And we need to think, this is a kind of keyword, we need to think about the stigma issue, and also like we need to maybe think of the collective trauma surrounding death and aging and dementia. So how to resolve these issues. So I don't go deeper to this question today, but like this is a comprehensive model of conflict transformation. We try to find the mechanism of conflict of each conflict, and then we try to find transformation theories, and we try to find tools, and so we combine the theory and tools, and we make a plan of the intervention to transform the conflict. So to think of the, transforming the conflict surrounding dementia, the first one is, this is a model for the conflict transformation between stakeholders of the asymmetric conflict, asymmetric power. So the important, interesting thing is, so we need, we need to raise conflict first. That is a very important part of this theory, because the people who are oppressed, they don't recognize they have the power, and they have the pain. So the first stage they need to do is awareness raising, and also the education, enlightenment, and you can raise voice, you can feel your pain. Then, if the people who are oppressed are starting to have a voice, then confrontation happens, then finally we can go into the negotiation table and go to the, hopefully we can make agreement for the sustainable peace. That is a model. So we can apply it in dementia too. And also we can use how to break the cycle of trauma here, and how we can break the collective trauma for the death and aging. And this is a peace building model, like trauma healing, building justice, social structural reform, human security, community building, and those things are important, and etc., etc. So, like for example, these all things are needed. So, for example, sorry, I will stop her later.
She's enjoying your talk.
Thank you. One thing I'd like to suggest is I will introduce a new act of dementia of Japan now, but actually this new act was created by a lot of effort of the people with dementia in Japan. Actually, we have so many active voices from leaders of dementia people. For example, he's one of the most famous person, Mr. Tomofumi Tanno. He was a top business seller of the car of a Toyota company in Sendai area, but he was diagnosed as a dementia when he was 39 years old. He was a top salesperson, but he became dementia. But now he's a leader as expert panels of experience of dementia, and those people contributed a lot to create a new act of dementia. That is one example, like this part. Yeah. So many people with dementia raise the voice, and they show that this is our perspective, this is our experience of dementia. Then kind of this awareness raising, and finally, we need to change the society, we need to change the culture, this is confrontation. And now we started our dialogue to create a new culture. That is the stage of the Japan now, I think. Excuse me. I introduced a new law. So, the basic law on dementia to promote a Kyosei society. So, we have the 7 basic principles. So, basic law means this is a law to show the idea. So, this law does not, let's say, define the details. More like this basic law shows ideas regarding dementia. So, this new act consists of the 7 basic principles. So the first part, before the seventh principle, the law says dementia policies shall be implemented based on the basic principles from 1 to 7 so that people with dementia can live hope or the sense of purpose while maintaining their dignity. So the key word is dignity, this is one thing. And the first pillar of the principle is all people with dementia can live their daily lives and social life based on their own will as individuals who enjoy basic human rights. So basic human rights and also dignity and self-determination. So especially in Japan, like our family connection ties very strong. So once we have the person with dementia in our family member, other family member need to take care of the this person of dementia every time. So for example, this person of dementia, if he'd like to go out from home to go to shopping, but you should not go. You can go to shopping when you have a family member. Yeah, you don't go alone. Yeah, but actually they insist like individuals and people with dementia as individuals. So they would like to help the self-determination and also behave action based on the self-determination. That is a very important point. And number 2, citizens can deepen correct knowledge or the proper knowledge about dementia and proper understanding about the people with dementia, which is necessary to promote the realization of Kyosei society. This is about kind of stigma. So in Japanese society, once a person is diagnosed as a dementia, you cannot understand anything, you cannot do anything, you will die in 10 years. But we need to know what is happening to the people with dementia. So the proper understanding and the proper knowledge is very important. So number 3, this is barrier-free things, and by removing barriers to daily and social life for persons with dementia, and all persons with dementia can live independent daily lives safely and in security. And I just read the red part and